Hey, Greg, I'm just checking on the back end to see if everybody's got the link.
Okay, you get. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems a little odd that it's just you and I, so I'm just making sure.
Boone, please.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Karen's in.
Hello.
Hey, you
Hello,
didn't
how's
have
it
any
going?
problems with the link, right, Karen?
Not with the link. I just clicked the join now, but it just I always have issues with Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. Okay.
I always have to sign in, re-sign in, do different
Yeah.
things. But I'm here.
Okay.
I figure if I can get in,
Hello.
anybody can.
Yeah. All right.
I just dialed in. It's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Okay. Hello.
Sorry, I flaked out momentarily.
It's all right. Is it just
No,
us
no,
chickens?
It looks so
I'm
so
sorry.
far.
yeah, so far.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said, is it just us chickens?
Should I text Sam just to see? I'll text him just to make sure. Hold on.
I guess Sam, Bobby, who else is on that? Is on the.
The only three that are on the committee are Debbie, Albert, and Sam.
Oh, okay.
And I'm here. I just had a moment of forgetfulness. And I ended up being off today, so my brain isn't registering that it's Friday.
I ended up being off this weekend. My client, the house that my
Well,
client in Winter Park was going to buy. The reason for his selling the house that he's in. Turns out Winter Park won't allow him to do the addition that he needs to do to the house to make it work. So he's backing out of that contract, backing out of selling his house. So I know. So we're not holding an open
that's
house.
terrible.
I know. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for me. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
God.
the double whammy.
Oh, I know. And I've spent so much time staging his house all the way in Winter Park. I can't tell you
Yeah, that's
how many
a lot.
drives back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Pressing as heck.
Well, I guess if Sam doesn't join in on the call for whatever reason,
Sam is here.
I mean,
Sam's
Sam's here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Hey,
Hey,
Sam.
Hello.
Sam.
Hello. Hey, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we can keep the meeting short because anyway, the focus of this one is to kind of first go through the how the licensing process is coming along, and then if that, depending on how the outcome are, then we can talk about the other aspects of the cafe. So can someone able to give me either Joe or whoever is the responsible party to give me how the licensing process is going on?
So right now, the
Who's
licensing.
this?
This is Greg.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Greg Rollins, food and beverage manager.
Great. Thank go on.
I'm here. I'm here. All right. So as
We
of
all
right now,
said we all said our hellos, Sam, earlier. So
I'm not there. I don't know why you need to come in, Lo. I'm not there. I just joined, okay? I'm just asking his name, that's all. Greg, go on.
Yeah, so as of right now, we just had the application completed on the 14th of November. So usually that's when this process starts, from the 3 to 4 weeks of completion of getting the approval window. So right now we're looking around December 5th to the 12th to get approved for our food license and temporary liquor license to start operations. We might get it sooner than that, but that's the longest at this point. And then I will follow up weekly to keep up with that schedule.
So when you spoke with last time, I'm assuming that you spoke with who is that, the people that you're working with, the LLC or something like that?
The LLP,
Um,
yes.
okay. Have they given any updates about where they stand? Have they submitted all the paperwork, required paperwork?
So all the paperwork
Are there
is
any?
Yeah, all the
Okay, go
paperwork
on.
is in. We just paid the invoice for the change of ownership on the license. So they're gonna be transferring the food license from Evergreen to Solterra. So we just paid that on
Uh,
Wednesday.
do we have a tentative idea that when the transfer can happen after we pay the fee?
So that's we don't have that aspect, but that's the 3 to 4 week window that we have. So that's when they will the expected approval window is December 5th to the 12th.
Okay. And are they, do you hear anything about the schedules towards the site inspections?
That would come on this process now. So once we had got that change of ownership payment in, they're gonna send out an inspection schedule to us, probably via email or mail, and then we confirm the scheduling date for the food license inspection.
Have they given any idea?
They haven't given that yet because we just completed the application on November 14th, and we just paid the last invoice on Wednesday that just passed.
Okay. So even the LLP folks also doesn't have a much idea that since that point onwards, when the inspections or like schedules can happen,
Yeah, the
site
next
visit
step would
schedules, right?
Yeah, the next step, the state will contact us when we schedule that food inspection. Once they get
Or
to
they
that point,
contact us direct. Okay. They
they'll
are going to
contact us
contact
direct.
us
Yeah,
directly or they go through the LLP?
they'll go to the LLP and contact us directly. So you would get it from the DBPR.
Okay. DBPR. Got it. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And what about the liquor license?
That's the same process. So both of those will come at the same time. You will get the temporary with the food license. That's when you could start ordering liquor and things of that nature, and then we'll have an inspection 30 days after that for the hard copy of the liquor license.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they both are like two different processes because liquor license goes independent to the restaurant license. Am I right or am I
You
reading
have
it
to
differently?
you have to get the food license first before the liquor license. They give you a temporary
That's
liquor
exact.
license.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I wanted. So I don't think they both go parallel. They together. The inspections happens independent from each other. So I
It's
don't think you have a.
yeah, it's two different inspections. So when you pass the
Okay, that.
when you pass the food inspection, you get the temporary liquor license. That is the license that they give you at the when you can start your own your operations. After that, you're going to schedule the same thing how they schedule the food and inspection license. They're going to do that for the alcohol as well. You have 30 days to do that after you get the temporary license.
Can
Okay.
I interrupt for just a moment? Is
Yeah.
there someone that needs to authorize to let people onto the call? Because Devin says she needs to be given access or approved to be on the call.
Yeah, I mean, this, from what I know, this is an open meeting set up by Rosetta, so we don't have the ability to approve or deny. So it's not giving me any option because
Oh,
I'm just here as an
Okay.
attendee.
I'll
I
ask her
think,
to dial in then, like I did. Okay.
yeah, or all she has to do, I think, is just type in her name, right? I don't think
Uh,
you have to sign in. You have to put your name in, but
Yeah,
that's it.
that's correct. Because I didn't sign in with my ID too. I kind of came in as a stranger to this.
Right.
Okay. Are we good with that? Can she able to join in?
I'm messaging her.
Okay, let's wait until she join in then, she also get the opportunity to listen.
She says she's in a waiting room.
She must be in the
Uh,
wrong link because there's no waiting room
right,
in Teams.
right. Could you please request her to log out from where she is right now and then join this link? If any one of you has the her in contact info, you can forward this meeting link to her.
I'm just asking her to dial in like I did
Perfect. Yeah, that should work easy.
and see if she can get in.
Yeah.
Created. She says she's called in. Okay, can you
Oh,
hear us,
okay.
Devin?
I don't see her.
Yeah, I don't see her either.
I think she may be using somebody else's link. She's not using our link because she's not here.
Or could be there might be an opportunity. She might be using the previous, maybe the town hall link. Probably, we
May-
get missed out because we have a lot of things scheduled.
You have the email.
Yeah, I think
So
Sam's
she's
right.
using the
I
link
just
that
texted
Joe
her.
sent her. I used the link
Yeah.
from the email. Okay, hopefully we can get her on. Yeah, I think Brian just created an agenda, and I don't know that he was on our last call either. Okay, she says she's giving up. I'll just update her.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you for that. Thanks, Debbie. Okay, so continuing that, so that's what I'm trying to understand between Joe and Greg, that usually they both independent from each other. So where I'm trying to get it is, even last cafe committee meeting also, I requested Joe to have some kind of an idea about the schedules. Usually, because LLP is an agency, they continuously do these processes. They might have relationships with at some extent, relationships with the licensing authorities, so they can give a somewhat close to the realistic schedule information to us, whether they can come in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Considering the holidays, that might be a little difficult, but there is nothing wrong in asking them, instead of blankly, like, I know 4 weeks, 6 weeks, we all know that schedule, which is basically standard format, because every 14 days they look at every application. The application's length is, once you submit within the 14 days or 16 days, someone from bureaucracy has to touch that application. It is just a normal process. However, because we're going through LLC, they might be able to help us understanding, how the schedules goes. Maybe they might get some insider information to, keep us ready for those inspections.
Yeah, we
Greg or Joe, you
know.
have any?
Yeah, so we know what to expect for the inspections. They gave me a checklist for everything, the food and the alcohol.
Okay. So how are we? How are you doing with the checklist? Are we in line with all the checklisted items? Are we kind of clear with them, or still work in progress?
Yeah, as of right now, we are. I did add thermometers and stuff that was needed into the cafe and the front coolers. I have to double check some of the equipment, but they don't really check the equipment that often. It's more of the seals on the cooler doors, making sure the temperatures are reading normally, and the ones in the walk-in cooler and the freezer cooler are working as well. So we are up to date on those.
What about the exhaust
Yeah,
system?
and
The
Greg, I
exhaust.
feel like once it's scheduled, you can kind of go in there and kind of do a kind of a mock inspection with the team in there and make sure that everything is current and up to date, right?
Once we get that date, I could go in 2 days before or the day before and make sure everything is good for that inspection the next day. Like
Yeah,
if it
just
needs
kind
cleaning stuff,
of
yeah.
work
Do
the staff that will be there through kind of a mock of what that's going to look like so that they're prepared as well.
Right. So yeah, and once we open, I will continue to do those mock inspections monthly to make sure they're keeping up on cleanliness and things of that nature, and everything is in working order. And that will be in my manager reports at the end of the month.
Okay, perfect.
Going back to that, do we have a fully installed exhaust system in the restaurant currently?
Yes, yes, we do. I reached out to some of the professional cleaning companies today to see about making sure it's all clean and everything. So they're gonna come and do an inspection to make sure we're good to go on that part. There's no leaks or anything as well.
Do
Okay.
we have a grease and oil collection system in place
We do have
currently?
that. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so how are they disposing it right now?
So right now, those are supposed to be the grease is supposed to be done biannually. So it's probably every 3 months they supposed to check those. The hoods is biannual as well. That's every 3 months. And then a full deep cleaning of the restaurant is due every year.
Okay, so right now,
Is
how it
that
is collected?
something?
You said how is it right now?
No, I mean, like my question is, when the inspectors comes, they do check those collecting points and as well as exhaust system. Yeah, I think you are aware of that, right?
Right. I have that on my checklist. This checklist they gave
Correct.
me.
Yeah, and
Greg,
also
so
if
I just have a question if I could to Greg about the fryers and the maintenance on that. Is that something that you would be able to do in-house, or is that something that we would bring in an outside vendor to do to effectively do all of that degreasing?
Yeah, that would be an outside vendor that we'll bring out.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So they will make sure it's clean. They'll take out all the grease, things of that nature. They'll scrub it down, and then we would do a sanitation and inspection after they clean it.
yeah, the
Perfect.
question is for all of you. The question that I'm asking is not about the cleaning. Primarily, when the inspectors comes, they do check on the capturing system, how the oil and as well as the grease is being captured and where they keep it, how the collection system, that's what they inspect as well, along with the exhaust system. So that must be passed. So that is the question that I'm asking, not about the cleaning. Cleaning definitely that is a scheduled format, depending on how bad it looks. But Greg, my question goes back to the same thing. Can you elaborate on that, please? The collection system and how it is being collected, are the way it is right now. If some inspector comes, are they approve the collection mechanisms that we have in place, or do we need to do enhancements to it?
But that would come on the backlogs if they when the maintenance was done on the last time the maintenance is done on the hoods and the grease traps. And I don't have that
Okay, so
So,
information.
okay. At this
so
point of
Sam,
time,
I
like
think
in,
I think we're in a unique situation where when the inspector comes in, they're going to be inspecting Real Manage's processes and not necessarily ours. But Greg and I have spoken about this in the past, because I too had my concerns about, are the current practices going to meet the standard? And Greg has assured me that he is on top of that for the purposes of getting this licensure completed.
Okay,
And
this
I
is a
think
public
that's
forum.
what
He
your
can,
same
I think he
concerns
can,
are.
Debbie, thanks for that input, but Greg is already here. So he can basically speak for himself and then explain for everybybody. So
Well,
this
I
way we all know
understand that, but I
what's happening.
think that
If
Yeah.
I
your
can weigh in a
questioning
little
is,
bit, Sam, everybody, it just feels, Sam, like you're putting Greg a little bit on the hot seat here. I mean, it just feels
No,
that
not
way.
really.
Maybe
It is
maybe
just
not,
maybe
but
that is
that's how it's reading.
No,
okay.
he's
What do you
not
expect me to do? Not to
right.
ask any questions, or like, how do we do this?
So
This is the,
this,
we are basically here to uh, inquire about the what's happening. That's what I'm asking, and this is a very legitimate questions. And I know that because I run my own restaurants. I know how the inspectors would do work and what they look for, what they fail for. This is essential. And also the misconception of they're going to check on the real manager, whoever it is. No, whoever applies for the license, the onus on them. When the inspector comes, they don't care whether it is right now being managed by real manager or XYZ company. They want to look at like, okay, is this right now Cave Soleil? Okay. Are they
So let me ask you a
word?
question,
Are they
Sam.
keeping the okay,
Sam,
that whatever the restaurant it is? So
can I ask you a
okay, go
question,
on.
Sam?
Go on.
So is what you're saying that we need oversight right now? We need to oversee, because we're going to be held accountable for what Real Manage is doing. And if Real Manage is failing to meet the standards for this inspection, then we're the ones who are going to bear the brunt of it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. See, that is what is the questioning is going towards. The question, see, when the inspector or a bureaucrat comes, they only look at the name which is there on the application. So the onus is completely on us to make sure that the premise and as well as the pipes, as the cold storage units, um, exhaust systems, and what are the cleaning systems, everything it is on us. So in this case, like whoever is taking in charge of that to make sure that everything is in place. So when they come, they only ask us questions. If we say that point of time, sorry, it is the real managed problem, they say that real manage is not on the application. We are on the application. So it is on
But
us
if,
so
to make
Sam,
sure that
I
we are ready
if
for
understand
that.
what
we're
you're,
on the application, but we're not yet managing it, how can they hold us accountable for the previous restaurant management? You see what I'm saying? It just seems like it's not
Yeah.
here's
making
the good
sense.
thing. Here's the good thing is that quite a bit of the staff that is currently working under Real Manage has been offered employment under the new model with Greg as the manager. So I think that, and I know you don't want me to speak for Greg, Sam, but I'm going to. I think that I think that Greg will be taking the opportunity to start building his team with those people that he has retained to ensure that they're going to have continuity of employment. Because if this inspection fails under the management of Real Manage, then they don't have future employment. So those individuals that have been interviewed and have been offered positions under the new cafe agreement that will be working under Greg have lots of incentive to make sure that they are doing the right thing. Honestly, there's only one person that we need to be concerned about, in terms of, are we going to be ready for this inspection?
So I have a question. Just, and it's kind of a strategic question. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Sam, Debbie, if it seems to be, but I'm kind of coming out of nowhere with this, but it seems to me like somebody at Real Manage may be upset that they're losing the contract, and maybe, I don't know, maybe would see it fit to kind of drag their heels on making sure that these inspections go well while they're under their do we have a fail safe for that?
Well, just
I
just
know
if
exactly
I
where
might.
you're going with this, Karen, and I think that we need to do everything that we can to make sure that on the day of that inspection that we have the right people present.
Well, not just the right people present, but also to make sure that we're not left hanging by a thread, and where we don't have the time to correct anything that maybe was not done correctly.
Okay, Joe, can you go ahead? You're saying something?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but even though you're not a Real Manage employee, I feel like you're going to be front and center on the day of this inspection. Is that correct?
Yes, I wanted to answer Sam's question about the whole.
Okay.
Let me just break down the whole process so like everybody understands what's going on.
Thank you.
Now we're taking over. So Real Manage lost the contract. We're taking over the contract after Real Manage, right?
Hmm?
What you have to look at it
Correct.
is you have to look at the business as a blank like a blank state. Is that you're taking over a business that is shutting down, and you're reopening it as well. That's how the health inspector is going to look at it. That's how the alcohol board is going to look at it. Now, what I was trying to explain to Sam, he was asking me the questions about the hoods and all that good stuff. That will be in their HACCP book, which has their maintenance and repair logs, things of that nature. We don't have access to that because they don't have one. So we don't know when the last time the hood's been cleaned or inspected. We don't know when the last time the grease trap has been cleaned or inspected. Right? Our idea of it is to once we take over at the aspect is to get everything clean one time. So then we could start those logs, and then we know when the last time we got professionally cleaned, when the last time we got the grease trap got changed, the last time the hoods got changed, and stuff like that. That will help in our insurance clause. So you have to look at it as that way. You can't look at it as like, okay, they're going to jeopardize this or jeopardize that. The health board is not going to look at it as that way. They're going to look at it as that they're shutting down and we're reopening it.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's,
Correct.
and
Like
that's
that is
what,
that is a clarification that we need for everybody to understand. So let's going back to the process again. Basically, it's a business transition. They don't bind other people or any people. They only look at us. And obviously, when the schedules comes, maybe a week before, they do give a ample time for you guys to get ready. So at that point of time, you and your team, whoever is involved in this process, has to come and look at the checklist and make sure that the at least you keep the premises according to the checklist. So this way you're well ready for that. It's not that like we'll be 100% proficient. They like inspectors, they tend to find some or other fault. Sometimes they even find a fault with a small light as well. It does happen on many occasions. But being ready with that checklist is highly essential. So the that is the reason I'm asking these questions. Are we ready yet? I know the real manager right now, or whoever is managing right at this point of time. However, when you guys receive this the inspection schedules at that time, my question is, are you guys ready to kind of jump in and then uh, take care of the keeping the premises up to ready for the inspections?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I answered that question already. And I told you I have my checklist and everything like that.
Okay.
And we're 100% on that, and I completely get where you're coming from, Sam, because what it basically boils down to is you don't want to fail an inspection and have to come back and do all this extra stuff before you can then advance forward. So the idea with that checklist is that we make multiple passes prior to, and then again, to your concerns, Karen and Debbie, then yes, we would obviously, even at this moment with the lease, we have the ability to kind of step in and to verify certain things with the equipment as the landlord. So, as long as we give proper notice, we can obviously step in there and do that. That's why we have the checklist, though. And we'll have to do, multiple passes as we get through to make sure, obviously, we're meeting the standards and the metrics for when the health inspector comes out, so that we make sure that we're not getting anything dinged that's going to slow the process.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, you nailed the point. That's my concern is that if they figure out even a smallest issue, they have a 14 days again. So they drag the feet for the another 2 weeks. You know how that's. I don't know how far but usually that is how they kind of get into the process again. So they put us in the back burner. Even if you ask them, hey, we're going to fix it, can you come next week? It's rare that they come back in a following week, but they always have the time of 2 weeks to come back. They legally they can wait for until 2 weeks to come back. So that is why we just need to be ready from our end. Everything is ready to be passed. That's what you're absolutely right on that. So anyone has any questions? Okay then. Any comments from Joe or Greg?
No, I'm good.
No, I mean,
Okay.
no, really just aside from, we'll keep the board apprised because, we do speak to LLP every single day. We're kind of harassing at that point to say, hey guys, what's the word? Can you get it to us? Rosetta was great. The minute they got the invoice in, I was on the phone with their accountant saying, hey, can we, I was like, I understand you've got this, but this is going to go into the weekend. Can you please get this paid? Every little bit helps because, we definitely want to get that early December move on that, again, as Sam was saying, so that if there, which there won't be because we'll obviously, kind of layer our defense here. But if there are any hiccups, then we have the time to obviously jump in and do it. At the same time, throughout the month of December, Greg is going to my knowledge, Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because he's an instructor for the liquor side and the food side. He's going to make sure that anybody who is going to be coming on with the staff has the most up to date to be able to also do the liquor service side as well. Is that correct, Greg?
Yes, that's affirmative. Yeah, I already have that set up already.
Perfect.
Thank you,
So
Greg.
that'll be a thing we're doing. That'll be something we're doing in the background off site. And we'll do it. Greg said he can do it to kind of fit their schedule. Since we probably can't since obviously we can't get them all in at once. So we're going to make sure the staff is fully trained up to deal and work with the 4-cop the minute that that's in there as well. So we're good to go.
Joe, lastly, in the last meeting, I asked you for a plan of action. Is it ready or it's in the progress? I know you're going on a vacation
Greg?
for next few weeks, so it's nice.
Yeah, just for the next week. I mean, I'll be back. I'll be back before the CDD meeting, so I'll be back on December 1st. But Greg actually has kind of like a full breakdown that he can provide on to you. I told him I didn't know what we discussed tonight because really, just like last time, kind of license had been the real focus, and then you guys were wanting the meat of like the vendors and kind of timeline and milestones from there.
Yeah, and also plan of action because every time that I hear from the third party folks about this and that and all, because they're individually talking, but as a full board, we never got the opportunity to kind of understand, look at the plan of action. So this way, at least we all can digest. This is the action plan that you guys have proposed for this.
Right. Did you have any from the emails I saw, throughout the week? Did you have any questions on the budget? Or would you rather leave that kind of like a board discussion?
When I say plan of action is you guys are taking over. So what are you guys planning to do? How this whole process works? Whether it is a the ordering process, vendor management, like POS, we discussed about that, and at the same time, the at least some kind of a brief idea about the menu, not the specific to the menu items itself, the categories primarily and beverages and how you guys are doing it, and what is if we go in this model, whatever that, it no need to be like foolproof model because that can be subject to change, but the model that you guys are visioning for the Solterra CDD, what is your projections of in terms of the revenue projections or whatnot, again, it is a kind of a pilot, you can call it as a pilot document, and that will be a baseline document. We can debate on that to make any adjustments or changes, or depending on how the rest of the board members as well as the community prefers.
Yeah,
That is the
and
action plan
Greg's
document that I
prepared.
requested.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
Greg's
Yeah, go ahead.
prepared. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I can actually I have like 80% of that done already. So what I could do is put it in a packet, and I can have that ready around Tuesday, and then we can have that discussion for the CDD meeting. So I can have all that packets for you guys, so you can look through it. But it will have like the menu and everything that we'll be selling the vendors. Um, it will have like the rebates we could get from Cisco, other companies and stuff like that. So I'll have like a better plan of actions for you, Sam.
If great. Sounds good.
Can I just add something? Can I can I just add something?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I know that Greg, it feels like we're putting a lot of pressure on you to perform, and we kind of are, but it's not 100% on Greg's shoulder to drive this revenue project to be able to perform in the way that we want it to. It's also the CDDs and the amenities management team's responsibility to be able to create opportunities to bring people back to the amenity center after the sun goes down. So Greg is going to work his team as best he can to be able to push sales, but we also need to be able to create opportunities to bring people back in non-peak times.
Right. So
So
I
we
think
need
what
to
you're saying is,
partner.
Deb, is what you're saying, something to do with like event creation to drive traffic to the clubhouse after hours.
Correct.
Right.
We need to be
Yep.
advertising Monday night football at the clubhouse. And Greg can serve beer and serve drinks and wings and all of that kind of stuff. But if we, as a amenities team and CDD board, do not drive the need to bring people in at off-peak hours, then we're going to remain limited in what our opportunity is.
Right. The more
So,
you extend the hours, the more opportunities Greg is going to have.
there's so many opportunities for special events. For example, I just threw out to Deanna just a few days ago that we should be doing twilight cabana rentals. And Greg and I have already talked about this. The cabanas rent during the day when it's hot out and when people are bringing their families down and jumping in the pool. But we need to create an opportunity for people to come back after 5 o'clock in the evening and rent a cabana for, half of what the going rate is and be able to serve wine and charcuterie boards and things like that. And we need to say, hey, we're putting Monday Night Football on, or we're showing the soccer, whatever the Brits like to watch. I don't know. I don't know these things. But, these Brits come here and they come here for 2 weeks and they don't want to leave the resort. They want to stay here. They want to be able to watch their sports and drink their beer. So while we're putting a lot of pressure on Greg to perform and create these projections and, these budgets and things, we also need to throw ideas out there to bring people in. Like we need a fire pit, and maybe we need to, bring Princess Belle in to sit in front of the fireplace and read bedtime stories to kids for $20 a head while mom and dad are, buying drinks from the cafe. So, these are the kinds of things that we all need to be thinking of to be able to help support and drive this revenue stream that we haven't even tapped into under the current model. Like they're closing at 5:30 and we're just cutting off our nose to spite our face. So I guess my whole point is, while Greg is prepared to get this going, we need to provide opportunities for him to be able to maximize the whole earnings model and bring people down there. So throw me ideas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the responsibility is on us because it's our property. And, Greg is helping us to manage it, but, driving the traffic is not in his purview.
That's not his responsibility. That's our responsibility.
Right. And not just as CDD board members, but as homeowners, because if our visits are down, if we have less guests, if all these other things don't fit in, if the resort is, somehow or another deemed as being subpar to other resorts and people aren't coming and staying, Greg can have whatever he wants in his profit margin, in his profit,
then he becomes limited by that. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Exactly. Thank you. So
yeah. We need late night karaoke. We need sports on the big TV. We need to create these opportunities for people to come back to the amenity center outside of, the normal, noon to 3, rush at the pool, and get people coming back so that they're not having to leave the resort to go have dinner or not having to leave the resort to go get their coffee. And, all of these things, if we can drive that and create some models to, kind of perpetuate people coming back time and time and time again, then honestly, that's going to help decompress some of the traffic at the gate. If people don't have to leave the resort to go get their coffee or go pick up their dinner or all of these other things. So, we have an opportunity to just make such a huge impact on the finances, the revenue stream, being able to hopefully finance new amenities and improvements, and also decompress some of the traffic at the gate. So we should all be very excited about this. And I know that the licensing part and this regulatory part is a huge headache right now, but the opportunities are just
we'll get through all of that. I think that, listen, we were presented with this idea and it was a brilliant idea. We voted on it unanimously. And I think I still think it's a great idea, and I'm very excited about the opportunity. While I hear what Sam is saying, and I think, yes, we absolutely need to have just some kind of an idea of what the budgets might look like, especially as a startup, right? How much are we going to be investing into this as a startup, right? But then the ongoing business of it is going to be is going to be heavily dependent upon the occupancy and how much we leverage that space. And that is, of course, not in Gregory's
No, that's not
purview.
in his wheelhouse at all.
No,
So,
but choosing the right and having us all kind of, weigh in on if we, to whatever extent it's productive, having us all weighing in on things like, the menu and things like that, so that it jives with our identity as a resort, right? That's the kind of thing that I think that we need to focus on.
yeah.
So,
And,
Greg, can I?
in the time that
Sorry.
I've sat down and talked to Greg about different things, every resort is going to be different. And what I really appreciate from my time with Greg is that he really is of the mindset that, let's try this and see if it works. And if it doesn't, let's pivot and try something different. So I think we, have somebody that is, willing to kind of throw some things out there. And if it doesn't work, okay, let's circle back around and change the trajectory until we find, what is the sweet spot for Solterra.
Right. Well, I have every confidence in what Greg is going to do, and I think we all do. I think it's just, Sam and I are very different in that he's highly analytical when it comes to budgets and that kind of thing, and that's like the last thing that I usually want to look at. But I definitely know that that's an imperative, that we have to have some kind of idea of what the startup of this is going to cost us, some kind of projections based loosely on, current occupancy rates and traffic, and how many people are at the pool and that kind of thing, which, I'm sure, even though Joe and the Artemis team hasn't been in charge of the pool and all of that for very long, I'm sure that there are some projections that can be, gleaned from, some sort of forensic numbers that we have, just to kind of give us a little ballpark idea. And Greg, it's nothing that anybody's going to hold you to, because again, as Debbie has pointed out, the onus is on us to drive traffic to you. And then it's just going to be a question of, well, is the menu appealing? Is the actual food, preparation and taste good and everything else? And, and are we delivering it on time and quickly so that people don't, and just maximizing all the opportunities, like having the push carts and stuff like that during the summer, that kind of stuff. But, but yeah,
So Greg, sorry, Greg. So can we just get? You're good with committing to like Tuesday? We get it kind of rolling out to Sam and the rest of the board. Obviously, will BCC, but we can get all of them kind of that kind of foundational action plan you put together that kind of breaks down everything between POS options, like Sam had asked about when we kind of did that POS analysis, everything as far as it relates to current vendors, what the alcohol offerings are going to be, all that work that's already been done. We can have that in their laps on Tuesday for them to look at and kind of prep for the meeting, because I feel like that's in this foundational time. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what you're looking for, so that we can just say, hey, where are we starting on the ground?
Yes, that's exactly true, because I'm like, working in a silos right now. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I'm talking in a thin air with no basis of, there's no fundamentals here. So that's what, okay?
Right.
So all I have is the previous, what the, the restaurant previously did, not what you guys are going to do. So that's what I just needed, something we all can kind of look at it, okay?
Yeah, so what I would do, I will put like I'll make a packet of everything, and I would do like the first annual quarter projections and game plan. So I'll be like the first 4 months going into like the busy season, what we should expect. But then it also has some ideas for like late night stuff and things of that nature. So I mean, I was talking to me and Melody was talking about some ideas about doing some late night stuff, like a late
I
night
love that. We
Lua.
do need to have some late night
Yeah,
opportunities.
yeah, we was doing like a silent disco, which is like when people just they have disco music, they have headphones on, and like we just tune into their headphones. Like it's just something to keep
Uh-huh.
people like interacting and stuff. And then we had like a fire pit lounge experience, which you was talking Brian about that fire pit. I thought about that as well. And then we had a paint and sip soup poolside, so it's like sipping wine but painting, like having people bring out like I bring out like a paint artist and they'll like show people how to paint and make crafts and stuff like that, just to bring people out. But it's just a few ideas. But I put everything together that I have in a packet and I have it for you guys, so y'all can look through it.
Nice.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay,
No problem.
perfect.
Perfect. Then, like,
And
you all have a good night, and then we'll. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Joe. You're saying something. My apologies.
no, I'm sorry. I just made a noise with my throat. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, perfect. Then you all have a good weekend, and we'll see you at the board meeting.
Happy
Happy
All right.
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving
Thanks
as
all.
well. Yes. All right. Good night.
Thank you
Thanks. Bye.
so much. Thanks, Greg.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care
Thank
all.
you, Greg.
You're
I'll see you
welcome.
on
You're welcome.
Tuesday, Greg.
Yes, yes. We'll meet up. I have everything ready for you.
I have the whole day off, as it turns out, so you just tell
Okay.
me what time.
Okay. That's cool. All right. No
All right.
problem.
Thank
All right.
you.
You're
Bye
welcome.
now.